There are instances when the cosmos hits pause, cocking an eyebrow and whispering, "Hold on tight, this is gonna blow your mind." For us, that bombshell dropped when Susan charged onto our lawn, swinging a neon green clipboard like a weapon and gripping a deadly serious revolver in her other hand. My dad, Mike Thompson, a grizzled former FBI operative who'd tangled with syndicates and shadowy spies, stood shoeless on the stoop in his threadbare barbecue boss shirt, cradling a mug labeled "World's Average Father." Over the splintered walkway, Mrs. Jenkins's gnome brigade stared in petrified silence. Susan's screech could curdle milk. Citizens' arrest under local decree. It was sheer farce laced with peril, the brand of foolhardy chaos that prompted a veteran agent to squint, sigh profoundly, and growl, "Here we go with this crap." We had no inkling that by nightfall, the avenue would be cordoned off, FBI squads invading like phantoms, and Susan's image viraling under backyard dictator, igniting fierce arguments over neighborhood vigilantism versus government intrusion. The fuse lit 3 days back when Dad mounted a basic gray mailbox adorned with a subtle patriotic emblem. Unassuming, tame except to Susan, the unofficial despot of Maple Grove Heights. Lacking any legit HOA clout, she dubbed herself Guardian, zipping about in a rickety golf cart slapped with patrol and electrical tape. Her tactical vest overflowed with highlighters, pads, and a dubious zapper pieced from epoxy and fantasy. Her debut raid. She barreled up our path, snorting like a bull, and taped a doodled fine to the pole. Scribbled in flashy red gel, it slammed Dad for offensive curbside containers. He perused it, snickered, and recycled it. "Worse folks have tried," he remarked. Susan, unbowed, amplified her lunacy. She reappeared with a flimsy badge proclaiming Community Sentinel Chief, cribbed from a discount playset. Daily penalties flew for inanities like mismatched flowerpot alignments and errant squirrel feeder placements. Dad countered cleverly, scattering a herd of garish flamingos across the grass, each capped with a pint-sized FBI fedora. If aimed to humble her, it flopped. She intensified, yapping into a play walkie to ghost squads, cone-blocking our car, and hammering our door at sunrise for an emergency summit in the dead end. Dad saw it as comedy, honed from years of brinkmanship. "Allow the deranged to implode," he'd advise, downing his brew with the poise of a man who'd weathered a marathon siege against a Napoleon wannabe. But levity died that stifling midday. Dad clipped azaleas, murmuring a blues riff, as I chilled on the veranda with soda, swiping my feet. Susan's cart veered in like a berserk buggy. She vaulted off, forms whipping. "Breach of Edict 89, delicit landscape tampering," she howled. Dad rose, flicking a pedal aside, and stated evenly, "Susan, no such code exists." "Insult an official at your peril," she barked. Tension boiled fixed her with the stare that had unraveled mobsters. She clinched it. With operatic drama, she drew a matte black sidearm from her waist, leveling it at his heart. Mike clattered down. Dad held firm. "Citizens' detention," she quavered. "Per my role as lead of the oversight force." "That's a loaded threat to a Fed vet, Susan," he chilled. "You're a has-been geezer," she retorted. Porches filled with onlookers, devices recording, as Dad advanced, her aim jittering. He thumbed a speed dial for Rivera and said, "Activate." Swiftly, ebony trucks barreled down our tranquil lane, operatives in armor deploying, hemming her in. She wailed, gun tumbling, tripping on her shamdocks. "I embody justice," she raved as they clamped irons for fraud cop play and gun-flaunting offenses that detonated web wars on armed self-defense clashing with public safety hysteria. With the vehicles vanishing, the cul-de-sac breathed, yet Dad's vigilance persisted. "More to come," he intoned. Agent Lisa Rivera, his keen ex-trainee, cruised up, grinning wryly. "Mike, you magnet for mayhem." Her device unveiled. Susan was no mere Naga chronic swindler, faking as auditors, constables, even fabricating civic heads statewide, perpetually dodging justice. "Career psycho," Dad exhaled. The twist? Decades ago, in Operation Eagle, Dad shattered a bogus badge empire. A crafty young woman eluded the net. Her? Susan, nursing vengeance on Mike Thompson. Scheme, dominance highs, perhaps pilfering phony fees, but her dens files creepy profiles on locals, how schematics suggested sinister setups, like vendetta strikes. Netizens clashed. Was she a crusader against bureaucratic bloat, or a hazard warranting SWAT-style crackdowns? Dusk descended turbulent. Feds exhumed heaps of counterfeit insignias, garb, and firepower from her pad, morphing the road into a surreal blend of lockdown and fiesta. Folks barbecued under spotlights, saluting the bust. Dawn brought wariness. Dad scanned his cell like doom loomed. Indeed, a dilapidated wagon disgorged 3 buffoons in botched regalia, Residence Guard Alliance tags botched, clamoring Susan's illegal hold and HOA independence. They fortified her abode with couches and rattle traps, a comical redoubt fueling rows on populist uprisings. Dad, strategist supreme, strapped Jerky to our plump spaniel Max and unleashed him. The hound squeezed in, sparking bedlam shouts. Topless's agents raided, binding the crew. Diagrams exposed her sect blueprint, swelling mock enforcers, propaganda for tract conquests. The genuine HOA boss, Mr. Harlow, begged pardon, but Dad shrugged him away. Press storm surged, broadcasters invaded, clips exploded into virals. Spatula Sheriff Mike the Despot Destroyer, Max the Raid Rover. Street bash bloomed coup cowcouts, sing-alongs, tots and mock shields while Rivera hailed Dad's resolve. Online, tempests brewed, claims of agency tyranny, cheers for Susan's grassroots shield as expression liberty, pleas for firearm curbs amid her weaponized whimsy. As gloaming waned, Dad and I lounged stoop-side, Max wheezing. Over, I queried. He hunched. Insanity endures. In our slice of sprawl, where frenzy met fortitude, we'd brave the gale but the furors persisted, underscoring, in U.S. enclaves, lunacy wasn't mere mayhem, it was provocation.